Welcome to the Root Cause Revolution podcast with functional and integrative nurse nutritionist and energy medicine practitioner, Audrey Christie.
Hey friends, welcome to episode 256 of the Root Cause Revolution podcast. Today we're talking about how to eat well on a budget, because I don't know about you, but groceries are getting expensive. And if you're like me and you look at all the beautiful organic meal suggestions and you wonder, like, how the heck do people afford to eat this way? We're going to dive into that today. Welcome. If this is your first time listening, I'm your host, Audrey. I'm a root cause clinician, and I specialize in helping you to stop masking symptoms and start healing for good from all sorts of things: autoimmune disease, chronic illness. I work with people who have tried every possible solution and still aren't at the level of health and wellness that they desire and deserve. So we work together using a non-traditional approach that includes functional nutrition, functional wellness, energy medicine, and naturopathy. I specialize in helping you start your very own root cause revolution so you can rebalance your body and heal it for good. If you're done with Band-Aids and ready for real solutions, you are in the right place. All right, now back to food, right? I know a lot of us grocery shop on the weekend, so I thought this would be a fun Sunday episode. But I love to look at all the cooking things, and I can cook pretty well. I'm not very good at crafts. I can paint and draw, but I'm the Pinterest fail mom all the way, right? But I can usually make a pretty good meal. Now, one thing, kind of something I want to squash, is the rumor that it's more expensive to eat in a healthy way than it is to eat in a conventional sad American diet way, okay? Standard American diet way, which is SAD, right? SAD. In fact, we keep our grocery budget rather low. When our grocery budget is ever out of where it should be, it's because we're buying organic junk food and gluten-free junk food, which we do on occasion, right? We're not perfect. But compared to the average American spending, I think our grocery budget is very low. Our family is organic. We eat all anti-inflammatory foods and do that on a budget. And it is entirely possible for your family to do so as well. You can even do it for probably less than I can if you follow these simple tips and do a little bit of smart shopping, right? So the first tip I have for you is to shop the perimeter of the store. And you've probably heard this tip for your health, right? Because what's on the outside of the store? The produce department is around the outside. Often the meat department is around the outside. And then worst case scenario, the frozen foods are on the outside. Those are generally on the perimeter of the store. And so that's fairly good advice, right? To shop the perimeter of the store for your health, but it also applies to your wallet. Produce, bulk bins, meat departments are where you need to spend the bulk of your time and cash. Anytime you move to the aisles, you're adding ingredients that are damaging to your body, that make those products shelf stable, that add dollars to the cost in packaging and labor, and often are less nutritionally valuable to your human suit. So you have to buy more of them. I know that when we buy chips, I'm always telling my kids, what did you have for lunch? And I had some potato chips. And I'm like, hey, that's great. Some organic potato chips that are cooked in avocado oil, perfect. But that's not a meal. You have to eat 2 $4 bags of potato chips when you could have just had something else, some veggies, a meat, a piece of fruit, and that would have kept you full and satisfied and provided the nutrition that your little growing body needs, right? Now, the second thing to do is buy seasonal produce. And because of the way produce is available to us, I think this is one of the hardest things to do, because you walk into the grocery store and you have a variety of produce out of season from all over the world. You can buy a watermelon 12 months out of the year. You can buy strawberries 12 months out of the year, but they're not in season 12 months out of the year, right? When you start looking at organic produce, if you look at the sticker and you're like, dang, that's expensive for strawberries, that's a pretty good hint that strawberries aren't in season, right? So organic produce can be slightly more expensive than its conventional counterparts, which is a small price to pay, a small upfront investment to pay in order not to have all of the health and disease on the back end. But I understand instant gratification world, it's hard to recognize that when you're standing in the grocery line, right? But when you buy your organic produce in season, it becomes much, much closer to the conventional cost and sometimes even cheaper, right? So organic apples are currently between $3 and $4 a pound, depending on what type you get. And that's because they're in season, right? Organic strawberries earlier this summer were super cheap. One of those 2 or 3 pound buckets were close to $7. Right now, you're going to pay $7 for a pint of organic strawberries because they're out of season now, right? They're double the price of the conventional strawberries. So it's best not to buy the conventional strawberries at all and avoid them, or go buy some frozen ones, which you'll always find some savings there. Now, the third thing you can do is buy organic for those most important food items. So if you've ever heard of the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15, it's a list of produce that you should always buy organic. It's kind of where it guides you. And the ones that you don't always have to buy organic if they're not in season or if you really want them, right? It's really a very simple method to determine if it's worth paying extra for an organic produce thing. Now, an organic piece of produce, I guess, would be the right answer. Now, you can also make this determination simply by thinking, am I going to eat the peel? If you're going to eat the peel, so strawberries, apples, lettuce, celery, carrots, potatoes will always need to be organic. And bananas, avocados, onions can be conventional if organic prices are too high. The Environmental Working Group, EWG.org, puts out a new list of the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen every single year, and you can go get that for free off their website. And it'll tell you the produce that they've tested this year and what you ought to be buying organic always. Hint, berries always. There's lots of other. Using the peel method will give you a pretty good idea. But you can go check that list for good. Take it with you to the grocery store, print it out, stick it on your phone, or take a picture of it on your phone so that it's right there with your grocery list and you know. Now, the same rule can be applied to packaged foods, right? If it is processed already, like potato chips, it's not worth spending the extra money to buy organic potato chips, right? Now, if you're someone who occasionally buys potato chips, then absolutely go get the Canyon ones. It's a smaller bag for a lower price, and they use organic ingredients and real oils. They're not done in like canola oil or any of those inflammatory oils. Absolutely. If you have potato chips once a week or less, go buy the organic ones. But if you're eating potato chips every single day, it's not worth it to spend the extra money on organic, right? So I hope that gives you a little bit of insight. 3 quick tips that if you're headed to the grocery store to prepare for the week ahead, know that it's possible to shop for foods that can heal your body and feel and function its best with just a few simple tweaks to the list, right? Just a few simple tweaks. All right, friends, I am always rooting for you, and I will see you on the next episode for Energy Medicine Monday. See you then.
Thank you for listening to the Root Cause Revolution podcast. Be sure and subscribe on your favorite podcast provider. Ratings and reviews are always appreciated.